Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. Subscribe, like and be part of this conversation because I really need you to be part of this conversation because today's topic is very, very interesting. I will come here to a conversation that will take you on a journey through time, memory and identity. Now in this video, a young child's innocent question has unleashed a powerful exploration of the past, present and future. Now this child asks, why were enslaved Africans sold as the racial slur used to describe black people instead of Africans if they were Africans? Now this seemingly simple query has sparked a profound discussion about the nature of colonization, slavery, and cultural erasure. Now, as we take a look into the heart of this question, we will uncover the painful history of how our ancestors were stripped of their identity, culture, and humanity. We also examine the ways in which the colonizers' tactics have had lasting impacts on our sense of self and our understanding of our place in the world. Now, what does this reveal about the intentions of those who stole and sold our ancestors? So with that said, join me as we take a look into the painful history of colonization, slavery, and cultural erasure, from the contradictions of Christianity to the shocking evidence of ancient Egyptian DNA. We will explore it all. So get ready to have your mind expanded and your perspectives shifted. With that said, check out these interesting videos. I will be right back.
If we were supposed to be Africans, why didn't they sell us as Africans?
Because
that is the best question that I have ever heard in my life. If we are Africans and they stole us from Africa, why is it that none of it says we are selling African slaves? It always says, bro. That's crazy, isn't it? If we are Africans and they were selling African slaves, why do they keep on calling us bro? Why not just say, hey, we have African slaves here? No, they always say bro. We have a girl, male, a woman, and a new child. They never say African. Damn, that's a good question. Maybe it's because we're not African.
Our children are geniuses, y'all. This child has a point. He asked, why did they not sell us as Africans if we are from Africa? It says for sale. Are y'all going to let this child be more intelligent than you? They didn't sell us as Africans over here. They sold us as those of us who were not prisoners of war. And as I stated in one of my other videos, those who took the colonizers' religion of Christianity are the ones who ended up in slavery. Namely, those who were named the civilized tribe. They were named the civilized tribes because they took a hold of the European way of life, sending their children away for school and taking hold of their religion and worshiping their God that looks like them and everything. And so they were considered to be civilized, but they flipped the script on them like they always do. They didn't uphold any of the treaties they made with our people, and they actually end up enslaving them. Yeah, for accepting Christianity. But you know what? Y'all actually worshiping that religion freely and happily. Oh, we're worshiping Jesus. Yep. A white man's going to fly out of the clouds and save us. Oh, wow. Wow. Be smarter than an 8-year-old. Be smarter than an 8-year-old, please. Y'all just can't let that out of Africa bullcrap go, can you? You know, so if ancient Egypt is over there in modern day Africa, please tell me why the pyramids over here in America are far older. And also tell me why those people over there don't even have an ounce of Egyptian DNA. Let me show you where the people who have Egyptian DNA live.
Hello, Dexter.
hello, Emily, how are you?
You have such an interesting history. Please explain.
People don't always ask a normal question, where are you from? And I would say the States, United States. And so that question stuck with me for a long time. And I just said, where am I actually from? I mean, I know I'm American, but where my DNA is from? And so I said, well, let me take my DNA test. It was a 23andMe DNA test. And I took the test and I was shocked when I saw the results. It came back and it showed that I was actually a direct descendant of the Pharaoh Ramses III. And I knew nothing of the pharaohs. Didn't know much about Egypt, but everything you hear about, Bible stories and things like that. So for me, it was a huge shock, and that's how I found out about it.
Well, so obviously you took it deeper and deeper. You saw all of these synchronicities in looking at images of the pharaoh, how much you and even your brother look like them, and your own company has like an eye logo that looks like the Eye of Horus, unconnected to any of this. So what did this open up for you in terms of your own knowledge and learning about this?
I remember I was actually laying in my bed on Christmas Day, 2021, and I was going through my 23andMe DNA test, and that's when I saw that I was connected to the Pharaoh Ramses III. And again, I knew nothing of this situation. And so I looked up a sculpture of the Pharaoh Ramses III, and when I saw the sculpture, I literally screamed, and my wife said, "Dexter, what's wrong?" I said, this guy from 4,000 years ago, we look just alike. And she said, "Dexter, wait a minute. There were no pictures from 4,000 years ago." I said, "No, his sculpture with the Pharaoh Ramses III, his sculpture, we look like identical twins." And she said, "Let me see it." She saw it. She said, "Oh my goodness." And then I continued to go over different sculptures, looking online. And I saw the sculpture that looked just like my brother. If you could show that on the screen, it'd be absolutely amazing. But it was, and I looked at the sculpture and I said, "This looks just like my brother Joe." And I called my brother Joe and said, "I'm going to send you something." And he said, "Where'd you get that from? It looks just like me." I said, "That's a sculpture of the Pharaoh Ramses III." And he said, "Oh my God." I said, "That's over 4,000 years old and looks identical, just like you." So we were blown away, completely blown away.
Now, if you ask me, I would say that the question posed by this child is a testament to the curiosity and insight of youths. It's a reminder that children are not just the future, but also a source of wisdom and truth. Now, the reactions from the community are a stark reminder of the historical trauma and cultural erasure that has been inflicted upon Black people. The fact that our ancestors were sold as the racial slave instead of Africans is a painful testament to the dehumanizing nature of slavery and colonization. But it's also a reminder of the resilience and strength of our people. Despite the attempt to erase their identity and culture, they have managed to preserve their heritage and pass it down to future generations. Now, the sisters' words are a powerful indictment of the colonizers' tactics and the ways in which they have sought to destroy our sense of self. Her revelation about the ancient Egyptians is a stunning reminder of the rich history and culture that has been stolen from Black people. Now, the sisters' words are a powerful testament to the truth and accuracy of our history. When she says that those who took the colonizers' religion of Christianity were considered civilized and eventually enslaved, she reveals the harsh reality of how our ancestors were manipulated and exploited. Her point about the colonizers' tactics of cultural erasure is equally valid. By forcing our ancestors to adopt European names, languages, and beliefs, they sought to destroy our sense of identity and disconnect us from our rich cultural heritage. Now, as she notes, the ancient Egyptians were indeed the foundation of civilization, and their legacy can still be seen in the pyramids and temples that dot the African landscape. And yet, as she so astutely observes, the people who currently occupy the land of Egypt have no connection to the ancient Egyptians, and their DNA tells a different story. Now, this is a painful reminder of the historical theft and appropriation that has been perpetrated against our people. Our culture, our knowledge, and our very identity have been stolen and used against us. But the sisters' words also offer us hope and resilience. By reclaiming our history, our culture, and our identity, we can begin to heal from the wounds of the past. We can rebuild our sense of self and our connection to our ancestors. Now, as she so eloquently puts it, we must honor our ancestors by continuing to seek truth, knowledge, and justice. We must keep their legacy alive by preserving our culture and traditions. And we must never forget the sacrifices they made for us and the strength and resilience they showed in the face of unimaginable oppression. Now, coming to the Childs Question, I feel the Childs Question highlights a crucial aspect of the transatlantic slave trade and the dehumanizing tactics employed by slave traders. By using that term instead of African, slave traders and colonizers aimed to dehumanize and commodify enslaved people, reducing them to mere objects for sale, erase their cultural identities, languages, and connections to their homelands, create a false narrative that enslaved people were less than or other than Africans, perpetuating to the stereotypes, justify the exploitation and brutal treatment of enslaved people, framing them as inferior beings. Now, using that term instead of African was a deliberate choice rooted in the racist and colonialist ideologies of the time. It's important to acknowledge and understand this painful history and to continue the conversation started by the Childs Question. Now, I want to make it clear that I don't have all the answers, and I'm also here to learn from you guys. Your perspectives, experiences, and insights are invaluable, and I want to hear from you guys. So please don't hesitate to share your thoughts, contributions, and take on this topic in the comments below. Let's continue the conversation and learn from each other. I'm eager to hear your questions, answers, and feedback, because together we can create a safe space for growth, understanding, and knowledge sharing. Let's explore, learn, and evolve together. So share your comments and let's keep the conversation going. Thank you for always watching, and see you in my next video. I will be waiting for your comments and your contributions in the comment section.